everyone. It is Sunday, September 24th, and I hope you all had a great weekend. I know I did because I finished a big project, a big crochet project, and it's called Spring Fling, and that is my 9th Spring Fling. But before I show you the Spring Fling, I'm going to show you how far I have gotten on the Sophie's Universe, which yeah, I've done through 4 video tutorials and need to start number 5. So here's through 4. And I'll put a picture up right here so you can see a little better. Now, one interesting thing that happened on this one is these floral motifs, and they were considered optional, and they were actually done after all of this was done. So I had to reattach the yarn in 8 different places. So yeah, anyways, I used up some sparkly yarn. I don't know if I can make it sparkle, but don't have very much of that left. Anyhow, oh my gosh, I have just been busting it out doing the Spring Fling. And with this particular one, I opted not to use any white. And in her video instructions, you'll see she uses a lot of white and pinks, and it looks very, very pretty and very bright. And I decided I was going to use black instead of white. And so I didn't use complete black because at first I was a little chicken, but yeah, there's one row that I should have probably done in black, and I did it in light blue. But I used black and this dark blue that's a sparkle yarn, and then some other dark blue. And I'm going to put a picture of it up right here. But now this picture, you know, I have overhead lights in my living room, and it just kind of washes it out. It makes it look kind of purpley around the edges, and it isn't at all. So I'm just going to hold up a little bit of this thing, which weighs at least 5 pounds. So I'm just going to hold up one of the corners, and you can see the black. So this edging row here, that took me about 4 hours to do all these little roses. And of course I wasn't going to do the roses in a rose color. I needed to do them in a blue. This is actually for one of my sisters who had sent me this yarn picture, and she said, can you make me an afghan with this yarn? And I said no, because it was variegated and I couldn't color control. So I just took the colors from that yarn and put them into this afghan. Anyhow, that is number 9, all done. I may eventually do 1 or 2 more. They're a big project. They take me 3 to 4 weeks, and during it I did a little bit on the Sophie's Universe, but mostly these last weeks have been Spring Fling. So yeah, it's not difficult, and I would love it if somebody would like to do a cowl with me on it. is not difficult, and I have to say my count was really spot on this one, more so than the other ones. For some reason, maybe it's just because I'm more experienced as a crocheter now, but yeah, even my last 2 rows were absolutely spot on. And the maker of this pattern doesn't necessarily tell you how many stitches you have around. She'll just tell you from like corner to corner, okay, you need to have this many between this corner stitch and this one, you know. So you never have to really worry about that. And then there's places where there's like a repeating pattern of 5 stitches around something. And so she had said, oh, like there's 90 stitches between here and here. And all I had to do was count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and then I just made sure I ended up in the right place because I counted, you know, by 5s. So anyhow, that's all done. You don't want to hear about it anymore, I'm sure. And now I'm sort of in a quandary about continuing with the cowl part of the Sophie's Universe. I'll continue on the Sophie's Universe, but I may just drop out of the cowl because I don't really have any communication with those other people who are on the cowl, and I'm just not sure why I joined the cowl, because I'm perfectly capable of just doing it on my own. So, and believe me, it's not nearly as complicated as the Spring Fling. So I'm sort of in between projects right at the moment, although I'm still, like I said, working on Sophie's Universe. And I'm thinking I might do a couple of amigurumi, because I've sort of wanted to make some gnomes, and I've got some cute little patterns favorited in Etsy, so I might do that. And before I forget, Craft Smart Yarn. Now, I did a really short video on it yesterday, and maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't see it, but Craft Smart Yarn is being discontinued, it appears, by Michaels. However, the same yarn, exact same yarn, is just being relabeled under the loops and threads. So I placed a big order. Well, you know, you have to place a minimum amount to get free shipping. So I placed that minimum. I was over the minimum by 22 cents. And I think it's going to come in several different packages. But, you know, the website said it was all available for shipping, so we'll see. But I have really run low on my greens, and you know, when you're making an afghan, you don't want to introduce a new color further into the afghan. You've got a color palette that you're working with, and you keep it with that. You don't just like throw in some random color. Even if you're working with a lot of blues or something, you don't just throw in a weird blue that doesn't match any of the other blues. And the same with the green. I mean, I have greens, but they were like really dark green or that bright spring green. Well, there's no bright spring green in this afghan, so I wasn't going to throw that yarn in. So anyway, so I ordered some yarn because I really like that Craft Smart quality. It just glides on my hook like butter. Not the old Craft Smart in the red label. I still have some of that. I still have quite a bit of that. That stuff is rough and scratchy. It softens up okay in the wash, but it's a little splitty. And speaking of splitty, that Big Twist Twinkle yarn, very splitty. Even with a 5.5 millimeter hook, very splitty. And I've got some of that twinkle yarn in this afghan, but it was a fight all the way through. And it's a very thin yarn too. So when I was putting that in, I went up a hook size whenever I used that twinkle yarn so that it didn't constrict the afghan in the wrong way. And anyhow, that is my yarny yakking. I've got to go out and do the gardening. I bought some squash plants. And, you know, here's one thing: when you're buying starter plants in the nursery, check the pots for how many plants are growing, because you're paying a base price for that pot. So if you get more than one plant in the pot, then you're increasing your volume and your money. So they look terrible when I picked them out. They perked up now. They're still sitting on my counter. It's been about 10 days. But oh, they look terrible coming out of the store. It's like, did nobody water these for days and days? As soon as I watered them, they just perked right up. But oh, they were so wilted when I got them. And I discovered one of the pots has 2 plants in it. So I actually have 3 squash plants. They're all yellow crookneck. And I'll be getting one of the garden beds prepared for them, because they should do fine over the winter, because our winters, we don't really have winter here. I think our lowest temp is about maybe 38 degrees. So it never freezes here. Anyways, they'll do fine. So I'm gonna hopefully get those out into the garden this week. And that's about it for the moment. I hope you all have a good week and a good rest of the month, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.